I think Hollywood is cooked 100%, man. We're never going to be getting great movies. I seen this post on Twitter in the past couple of days of the films that are turning 25 this year, okay? You have, think of it whatever you will, but you have the beginning of the Star Wars prequels with The Phantom Menace. You have The Matrix. You have Magnolia. This is not quite the visual that I seen before, but it's close enough. Like, okay, yeah, these are films that are turning 25 in 2024. The Green Mile, Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, yo. The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser one, that was terrific. Cruel Intentions, The Talented Mr. Ripley, Any Given Sunday, yo. That movie, when it comes to great sports films, I don't think it gets discussed enough. It's not quite on the same level as like Rocky, Raging Bull. It's like, okay, those are on a different level, but Any Given Sunday, yeah, I mean, come on. Oh my, The Spy Who Shagged Me, yo. I think that's inarguably the best Austin Powers film. I won't hear any conversation for Goldfinger, but I could be persuaded with the first one. But The Spy Who Shagged Me, like, come on, man. The original American Pie, the Toy Story 2, Blue Streak, South Park. Oh my God, South Park, Man on the Moon, Fight Club, Blair Witch Project, Big Daddy. You take a look at that. That is 1 year. You couldn't even do that with the entirety of this decade. You couldn't put together a veritable who's who of the Hollywood output in the past, 4 years. And that right there is just a simple snapshot of 1 year. And there you have how many all-timers? Okay, Fight Club, obviously. Star Wars, Sixth Sense, Blair Witch Project. Like, there are so many. All of these in their specific genre revolutionized the game. And here's what's getting lauded. Godzilla X Kong, bruh, $194 million opening weekend. Dune 2 for its fantastic movie craft and bare bones characters. Oppenheimer making millions of dollars after a Japanese release because the Japanese just can't get over their own self-flagellation. When you reward terrible films like this, or when these are the only films that get released in theaters, there's a reason Hollywood is crumbling. And there's a reason why, whenever you hear somebody say, oh, the Hollywood's out of ideas, because when they just put derivative schlock, like a team-up film between Godzilla and Kong wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, when it makes nearly $200 million on its opening weekend, the biggest opening weekend of this year so far, and very likely not to be eclipsed, maybe until Deadpool, which I still don't think is going to make anything north of $700 million. The industry is cooked. And it's going to be cooked for a long time because 2024, ooh man, that slate is empty. But thank God there's some premium TV coming out because I don't know if I figured out if I want to do anything when it comes to the House of the Dragon trailer that's come out. But let's just say June can't come quickly enough. Dune 2, I'm not going to see it. I don't really care. I'm glad people liked it. I just need compelling characters whenever I get engaged in a story. And speaking of which, one of the most revered characters in all of Hollywood, at least in the past 30 years, was Brandon Lee's depiction of the Crow. Mostly bolstered due to the tragic onset death of Bruce Lee's child, but also that it was a very faithful interpretation of the source material. And it was a damn fine film. Because, well, Hollywood is, one, being incentivized to, and two, will not take any chances in the current climate because of skyrocketing budgets, because people just want to clap at the big destruction lizard and gauntlet monkey. Just going to get rehashes from yesteryear, which is another reason. Well, okay, Ernie Hudson's name has popped up because he was asked about a film that he was originally in before because, well, he had another film, one that didn't get mentioned in this recap, okay. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That's out there right now, but who's talking about that? I've heard some things about it. I also heard some things about Afterlife as well. And well, given the fact that there's and I understand that, the Ghostbusters 2016 does in fact speak for itself, but there's 5 Ghostbusters official films that are out there. That's a franchise that never should have been and really didn't deserve anything more than one film. But we find ourselves in a similar situation with The Crow. Great film. Still holds up. You don't need to remake it. But Ernie Hudson was asked about whether or not he's seen, if he has any intentions to, if he's a part of the new Crow that's coming out with Bill Skarsgård's updated for a modern audience interpretation of the character, which, I mean, he has the take that so many other people out there also have. The Crow actor, Ernie Hudson, hasn't seen the Remake's trailer and probably won't see the film. I haven't seen any of the other movies because of what happened to Brandon. Well, yeah, of course. Ernie Hudson will always be synonymous with Ghostbusters. Every time the franchise has returned on screen for the live-action ghost hunt, even after a long dry spell or for a quick cameo, he has been there. Well, yes, very much so. But another hallmark of his long career was the role of in the tragic production of The Crow. Hudson played Sergeant Daryl Albrecht, a cop who was on the scene the night Eric Draven, Brandon Lee, and Shelley Webster's murder, and tried to solve the case. When Draven returned from the grave to right wrongs, Albrecht became one of his few allies and the voice of reason when called for. However, playing such a pivotal part in the major comic book adaptation came at a cost. The tragedy that occurred behind the scenes shook everybody present to their core, and as such, Hudson would rather not rehash anything Crow, unlike the Ghostbusters. Well, given all of its subsequent sequels, prequels, remakes, and spin-offs, I would consider that a tragedy in and of itself. But anyways, in other words, he isn't paying any attention to the remake coming out. I haven't seen any of it. Talking about the trailer. The actor who's playing the lead, Bill Skarsgård, I love and respect. Yeah, he's very good. It's just, what is he doing on that production? But for me, The Crow is Brandon Lee. I can't imagine. Well, yeah, exactly. Especially when you have the iconic look, okay, mostly given additional praise and additional legs thanks to, the recently retired Sting. Very much kept that character in the limelight, I would argue. When you got that, then you got this. It's like, what are you guys doing? Okay. The actor knows what he wants to see, despite his remarks. His good advice to the remake supervisors hopefully heeded. The Crow is many different stories. Now let's hope that they don't try to redo him. They got their own thing to do with it and take it in a different direction. The odds, though, that he will watch the new one when they find out what direction Skarsgard and filmmaker Rupert Sanders take her slim. Hudson isn't much of a fan of the series, and it's easy to understand why. I haven't seen any of the other Crow movies because of what happened to Brandon. Yeah, exactly. And it's not like when you see stills like this or him showing off his abs, it's like you're trying to avenge your fiance's death. Why are you trying to pose like that? Shit's weird. Hey man, that's also analogous of current modern day Hollywood. Why are you doing that? Why are you showing that off? Nobody wants that. And I think that that's a phrase we're going to be talking about quite a bit as the year progresses. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.